Welcome to the Hole in the Wall Business Podcast with Bill and James. I'm James Groves, and along with my business partner, Bill DeMent, we want to share our journey as small business owners with you. As owners of Hole in the Wall drywall repair, we will attempt to peel back the curtain of owning a small business in the trade service industry and talk about the many adventures of owning a small business. Hey, Bill.
James, good morning to you.
Good morning.
How are you?
Outstanding. I think we got a great topic today, Bill. It's someone that has kind of reared its head over time, and it's one of those things that you don't really think about, but then you think about it at length.
Yeah, and I wasn't even sure where this popped up from, but it's kind of been on our radar for a couple of weeks, and I think actually one of the franchisees that was here for training recently, probably January or February, they're kind of admitting as they go out in the field, like, I got this.
Yeah, and it's very normal, right? And so and I didn't even know what it was called, right, at first. Like, and it wasn't until Bonnie mentioned that she was doing a class in this about a year or so ago. I'm like, what in the world is imposter syndrome, And then how does that relate to us, in small business, as business owners, So let's talk about that for a little bit.
Yeah, well, the short thing is that you are an imposter. The position you're in, the business you have, the job that you have, you're not really qualified for, and you're posing.
Well, you sure feel that way, right? It's like, I'm not really a business owner, but I'm going to figure it out. I'm just figuring it out, right? And you think about, let's just talk about what kind of businesses. Let's say you're a landscaper. You're great at mowing lawns. You're really efficient. You run good crews. Well, that doesn't mean you know how to run a business. That doesn't mean you know how to market the business. You know how to network the business. Doesn't mean, you know how to do your accounting. It's difficult, but you still have to do it. You know? So the term "fake it till you make it" is for sure a real situation.
Yeah, the whole idea. I'm just kind of figuring this out. Yeah. You know what's been surprising though, as we've been kind of talking this up and putting this podcast together, is how common it is. How many people have actually experienced that?
Yeah. Well, in preparation for the podcast, I was thinking to myself, well, how often do I feel in the past like an imposter? And I'm going, in the past, I think I feel like one almost every day. I mean, it's like who am I to have a company that we developed into this big franchise? And it's like, I'm just a dude, you know. I'm not even a drywall guy by trade, for crying out loud, but I'm a business guy. But holy moly, and now we walk into a room with I walk into rooms with presidents of large brands.
Yes.
And I sit toe to toe next, shoulder to shoulder with these people, gigantic franchises. Yeah. And I'm a peer. Yeah. It's like, well, who's the imposter in this room? My hand is raised.
Yeah. Well, and in truth, when I started Hole in the Wall back in the day, I wasn't a drywall guy either. I mean, I did it as kind of a sideline because I had a painting company. And I remember one time I did a drywall job for a lady. And she said, "You're so good at that." She says, "How did you learn to do that?" And I said, "You know what? This real estate agent hired me one time to do a drywall repair, some paint work, but also a drywall repair in a house she was trying to sell." And she asked me, "Can you do drywall repair?" I told her yes. And turns out I could. I was as surprised as anyone.
Yeah. One of our franchises, God bless him, he's a great guy. And he was bidding a job, and he was like, "I'm just not quite sure we're qualified to do this portion of the job."
Yeah.
And so he didn't bid a portion of the job, and then he lost the bid because the guy's like, "I want someone that can do everything, start to finish." And he says, "You know what I learned in that lesson?" I go, "He says, never say no.
Never say no.
I'm going to say yes and figure it out later." Yeah. Well, to me, that is faking until you make it. And guess what? It's okay. It's okay to do that because everybody in business has done this. You don't start a business and know everything about everything. You just don't. But you develop that and you become that expert. Yeah. You walk into a business, you open a business and you walk into a networking room. You're the expert in what you do. Yeah. Whether you think you are or not, you are the expert. People are going to rely on you to be that expert.
Yeah. Curious if you know where the whole idea came from.
Yeah, no, tell me.
So I did a little research, again, in preparation for the podcast, and it turns out there were a couple of women, Pauline Clance and Suzanne Imes. They were psychologists who kind of first described the phenomenon back in 1978, and they called it the imposter phenomenon. And that they came up with that after studying high-achieving women who had felt like frauds despite their success. So the term stuck, and it's now pretty much everyone, everyone knows the feeling. Everyone knows it as the imposter syndrome.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think about it, even if we look at our business owners that we partner with every day, not all of them came from the trades. When we first started the franchise, we thought that, we're going to get all these handymen or these guys that
We really did think that, didn't we?
that they're going to be in the truck. And
Yeah.
well, so yes, some did come from the trades, but others came from the corporate world, IT, and just all these other. Heck, we've got a doctor who's works for a big rocket company. It's like these are amazing people.
Yes.
And so they're good, they're smart, but they've never run a drywall business.
Right.
So we try to teach them and train them the best we can, but they have to go back in the market and they have to, become the experts in their market through just networking. Just
No, it's true. And there's this sense that as they're going out there and starting their hole in the wall franchises, and they've been to training, they've seen what we do. Their technicians have ridden alongside our crews here in Orlando. They know exactly what's going on. There's this moment where you're going, I've got a business. I own a business. I'm supposed to be working in a cubicle. That's who my identity is.
It is, yeah. It was, for sure. I remember years ago, I was at school to become an audio engineer, right? Very first day at school, Bill Smith was the guy's name, very generic. And he walks in the room and says, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to know right now, your title has changed. From here on forward, you are now audio engineers.
Oh, I love that.
He says, you don't know anything about audio yet.
So he gave you a demarcation point. Before this, you were something else. From this point forward, you're now this.
You're now this. And I just came to mind just now. It was like, he says, you can now write your business card and put your name, audio engineer.
Yeah.
Now, you're not a good one yet. You don't even know about audio yet, but you're now on the path to becoming, so you are that audio engineer. It's like, you are a business owner. And you are going to be great. So just act like it. Yeah. Even though you're still in the process of learning.
I like that a lot, actually.
Yeah.
Well, and that's needed because there's such an insecurity when you're going into uncharted territory for yourself personally. Again, we're talking about hole in the wall drywall repair specifically. But, you may be thinking to yourself, I've never done this before. Or maybe, if you come in as a tradesman, I'm just a guy fixing drywall. I'm not really a business owner. Yeah. And now suddenly you're hiring employees, you're setting pricing, you're managing the marketing, handling payroll, you're making leadership decisions multiple times every day. And that is a real shift. And I love that a mentor or a teacher you had gave you that. Here's the demarcation. You were something else before, and now you're something different going forward.
Yeah, it was great.
I love that.
Yeah. So the skill set, though, for business is fairly universal. We've talked about it many times that, we could probably take our skill set and the crew we have and go do almost any other business out there.
Given a minute to get the basic skills of that trade down, yeah.
Yeah. But a lot of our candidates, a lot of our owners have a great skill set. They've been project managers. We had a guy who was a VP of IT for a large hotel or a large hospital chain. And, these are brilliant people. And so they're not incapable of learning new things, but you just have to do it. So giving them the permission to be that professional, even while they're still growing their skill set, I think is important.
Yeah, I agree. One other thing I was going to touch on really quick, not only just going into the new business, but I see that a lot of our franchisees are now hiring people that have seasoning in maybe 20 years. I know there's a tech in Boston who's a third-generation plasterer.
Yeah.
I mean, just eons of experience,
Like who knew plaster still existed?
Right. And now, the owner is not necessarily working alongside him, but this is a guy who's got 3 generations of experience, and you're thinking to yourself, I've never repaired drywall before. And some of our owners are out in the field gaining experience themselves. The long-term goal is to not be in the field, but they're out there doing it initially, and they're thinking to themselves, what if this customer, thinks I don't know what I'm doing?
Yeah. It's funny because some of our new owners will seek help from other owners, but really is, outside of 2 of our original owners, all of our other owners are less than a year old, right?
Yeah.
And they've been out there, we'll say 6 months, 7 months, but they're already experts in their field. Like, hey, I got a problem with this.
Right.
And of course, we have a big fat WhatsApp group chat with the entire company, so it's beautiful. And I've got an issue with this. And within seconds, you've got multiple owners who weren't experts 6 months ago that are now experts. So there is something to say that just stay the course, you're going to learn.
Yeah.
And lessons learned, collectively saves, the individual some hardship down the road.
Yeah. Yeah. Here's a truth a lot of people miss, because this business requires people that both know how to do the work, but that's only a fraction of the business. And so there's value in both knowing how to do the work and then understanding how to run the business on the professional side, because your technician, they're going to understand the craft, really deeply. But your corporate professional, which is a lot of guys that we meet in franchising, they understand systems, they understand leadership, they understand scaling. And, and when these two worlds sort of meet, especially in a structured environment like franchising, man, that's where the magic happens. You bring those two together.
Yeah, because successful businesses, they need both.
Yeah.
They need the skilled worker.
Have to have it.
But they need strong leadership. They need good systems. They need great customer experience, right?
Yeah.
So when you combine those efforts, it just becomes a magic place, right?
Well, and we saw this firsthand, even in Hole in the Wall from the very beginning. I was a good tradesman. I mean, I have a college education. I understood that. I just liked fixing stuff, and painting and drywall really spoke to me. And I was really good at all that. I had some pretty decent systems worked out. But boy, you're talking about just doing systems for a living, that wasn't my thing. And that's really when Hole in the Wall began to take off, when I partnered with you, and now suddenly you've come out of a $150 million company and you're bringing all this structure. And I remember asking you all the time, you'd say, we need to XYZ. And I'm like, how do you even know that's a thing? Well, because you already had experience with it. That's what they were doing in the $150 million company.
Yeah.
And I certainly wasn't even on my radar.
Well, I surely would not have started a drywall repair company. So,
yeah,
good thing we're partners.
No, it works good.
But I loved. I want to give permission to everybody to understand. Like, nobody starts as a finished product.
Absolutely true.
So everybody is a work in progress. We have this thing where we're working with franchises that you're going to evolve. We had a meeting yesterday with Fran Growth, and we learned something at every training.
Yeah.
That just makes us a better company. And you have to grow and expand. And so obviously we're sponges, and we're able to then share that information. So, the first time, every successful home service business starts somewhere. You start with hiring somebody. You learn how to write a proposal and quote a job, right?
Yeah.
You handle, your first customer complaint, oh no, we'll take care of you, ma'am. I'm so sorry,
Right. And each of those steps makes you feel more like an imposter.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, I can't scale this company until I train more employees.
Right.
So, they want to get paid. Let me figure out how to run payroll now.
No, how scary is that? I scarcely know what I'm doing, and I got to train a new employee. Yeah.
Yeah, it feels a little uncomfortable.
Yeah. No, very true.
But that's not imposter syndrome. Okay. That's growth.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure, you have to, fake a little bit, but you're not an imposter.
Yeah.
You're just growing your business.
But that growth and that repetition, that's where the confidence comes from.
Exactly.
In the home service world, confidence builds the same way skills do, through repetition.
It's funny. We always talk about Andre Agassi, and some of our younger employees have no idea who that guy is, but he literally, it's just the reps. You swing that racket, you hit that tennis ball 1,000 times a day.
Yeah.
And you just get muscle memory, repetition. The more you do it, the better you get.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah. No, it's so true. And with drywall, that first repair, and we see it when teams come here for training, they look awkward.
Yeah. It's stressful.
It is stressful.
Yeah, it's like a baby giraffe trying to walk the first time.
But by the time you get to that 200th repair,
yeah,
it feels very routine.
It does.
The 200th time you've pulled up to someone's home and you've met that homeowner and prepped that room and actually done the repair and cleaned up after yourself and collected the check, and you're out the door knowing that you pulled it off.
Yeah.
That's where your confidence comes from.
Yeah, then you get that first 5-star review.
Oh, that's such a good feeling.
So good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you hire your first employee, and it feels like what a risk.
So
you know?
risky, yeah.
But then by the time you hire your 10th one, that's manageable. Next,
Mm-hmm.
And I remember the very first time I had to let someone go, I was shaking. I was nervous. I think my teeth chattered, It was like the very first time I had to fire somebody, but it was one of those necessities. I had to do it. Well, now it's like, next,
Yeah.
Obviously,
Yeah.
we care about people, but this is an example.
Well, as you gain that confidence, though, you eventually become to realize something really important, and that is you do belong in that room.
That's right.
Because a secret is everybody else in that room is kind of faking it too.
Exactly. Well, this if you go to a networking event.
Yes.
And the first time you're at a networking event, for your company, presenting yourself, to people, it's awkward. You're nervous. That's why we have guys like Sean Lydon come in and help our people know how to network.
Well, I've got a secret confidence builder for you, and the truth is, customers care about your results. They don't care about your resume. They care that did you show up on time? Did you do the work at a high level? Are you respecting their home? Okay. Are you communicating clearly? These are big things, part of our DNA here at Hole in the Wall. Did you leave things cleaner than you found them? Mm-hmm. Part of our DNA. It's always a challenge. So that customer cares about the results.
Not your resume.
They don't care about your resume.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow, I love it. And I tell you that the permission that we give people to be okay with learning as you go.
Yeah.
And it really isn't being an imposter. It really is just learning how to grow and growing your business.
Well, I ask myself, what's the best way to deal with having the imposter syndrome? Mm-hmm. Well, I'm not going to lie. I did a little research on this.
Sure.
But you know what? The recommendation was talk to someone about it. Anybody who gets it. And you know who that is? Everybody. Right. Because everybody's had it. I mean, if you got a mentor or if you go to a therapist, there's something about just saying it out loud. Like, I feel like I'm faking this whole thing, it'll usually shrink it. Turns out most people feel the same way. You're not sort of special in a bad way if you've got the imposter syndrome. So here's an idea for you. Keep a wins list, not the big stuff. Just jot down what you actually did right. You patched that hole without drama. You wrote an email that landed the client. Add it up over time. It drowns out that inner voice going, yeah, but anyone could have done that. Stop comparing, okay? Social media is a highlight reel, James. Nobody posts their 3-hour panic before a job, okay? Right. When you catch yourself scrolling and spiraling, close the app. Do the work instead.
Yeah.
And here's a sneaky one. Act like you belong anyway. Fake it till you make it isn't about lying. It's about showing up. Do the job. Charge what you're worth. Take the compliment without deflecting. Each time you don't run from praise, the syndrome loses ground.
Yeah.
Okay? Last thing, be kind to yourself. You're not a fraud. You're just human. And honestly, the fact you're worried about it means you care enough to be good at what you do. That's not fake. That's real.
Absolutely. It is. You're not pretending.
You're not pretending.
You're becoming.
Oh, love that.
Right. And that's exactly what real entrepreneurs do.
It is.
They overcome.
Love this topic, James.
I do too. Great.
And I think it's really relevant. And it's not just because we've been talking about it a lot, because what we discovered as we talked about it a lot recently was everybody's experienced it.
Yep.
It's super common. And there are strategies to overcome it. Experience, repetition, time, self-confidence, talking it out with other people. These things are all helpful.
Absolutely.
And eventually, to tell you the truth, in the business that we do now, I do not feel like a fraud anymore.
Right.
I feel like the local expert.
Yep. We are.
And we've done it thousands of times.
Absolutely. And then people look to us for advice for a reason.
Yeah.
So, wonderful. Well, Bill, great show. A little short. Love it. And thank you, everyone, for listening. And we'll catch you next time. We'd like to thank you for listening to the Hole in the Wall Business Podcast with Bill and James. We'd love for you to join our Facebook group and keep the conversation going. If you'd like to learn more about us and our business, check us out at holeinthewall.com. If you'd like to learn more about how to start a Hole in the Wall franchise, go to holeinthewallfranchising.com.